Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I will be reviewing one of my games above 1,000 to help you get an idea of what it's like playing players that are over 1,000 elo. And so I picked this match where it was not a very good match so that I could show you some of the moves that I made that were pretty badly and why they were bad. Alright, so start out with d4, d5, bishop f4 starting in London. Responds h6 to try and go to... Sorry, just make this room. Trying to go here, kick out my bishop. So I respond with h4. Because if he goes here, I take. If takes, it is a free rook. But I can just take here, and he'll probably go somewhere like there. Or maybe there. He'll be doing something. Just here, g7, bishop g7, anywhere like that. But, instead he plays a6, which isn't a move I quite understand. Probably would just played a move in the center. So what I did as white, played pawn e3, open up the bishop. He responds with knight c6, and then I threaten to take their pawn. He ignores it, so I move my pawn up to try to help prevent the bishop from going out like that. But this wasn't the best move. The reason this was because of this. It may not be like much, but you got here. And then you have e4, where black has a very strong center, and white just has a lot of weak pawns. So black is up, of course, according to analysis. So that's why it ended up being a bad move. But instead, played a check on me with his bishop, blocked with the knight. So he moves back. I propose a bishop trade. He does not accept. He goes back to the knight. I move out my own knight. Takes with the pawn. Probably not the best. Probably should have taken with the queen. But that's what I did. And now pawn e6. Now, I was supposed to find h5 as is the top engine move, but of course, as a low rated player, no one's playing h5 here. So I ended up playing the second best move, which was queen b3. He responds by protecting his pawn. Again, h5 is top engine move, but I play the second best one again, which is long castles. Plays bishop e7. Again, of course, h5 is yet again top engine move. I try and open up the center, which loses to this. Because what I did not realize is that by pushing this pawn, that lost to the defender of that pawn, and now he threatens take my queen, so he just moves back, and this is winning for black. But instead he just takes, so I take back, not the best move. Again, d4 is top engine move. Still don't see it. Lost that pawn. He just takes the bishop and castles. Now, brilliant move. Well, maybe not brilliant, but the best move here is bishop h6. pawn cannot take because of the rook pinning it. So, but instead, I move my queen back one square, which basically did nothing. I mean, that didn't do anything. Again, just takes that, but he ends up taking that pawn. So again, bishop actually no. Bishop h6 is not good. You want rook h3. Because if he moves back, again, you have, well, if he moves back to here, oh, should say he just protects like that. You have this again, threatening probably eventual checkmate. Alright. But instead I do the queen, which is also really good. It's also a good move. Of course he protects again. I'm not sure what I was thinking here. I thought attack queen is good, but attacking the queen's not always good. Alright. So that's what he did. He moves it there. Again, if I just moved it back here, again threatening to take this pawn here. But instead I attacked queen yet again. Checks me. I move to b1. Moves again. And now, of course, takes the rook. And rook h3. Which is not very good. Because what should have happened was now this is probably a brilliant move, which many people probably wouldn't play. Rook. Sacking the rook for a bishop. Now, the reason it's so good, here. And he has to play like f6 or f5, and he's going to lose his queen. So he has to play one of these two moves. He's going to end up losing his queen. And it's a knight and a rook against a knight and a queen. You should really always win these kind of games. But, what actually happened was rook h3. Trying to... Not sure what I was trying to do. This rook h3 really does not do anything, because if he just plays a winning move like here or anything, if I were to go like here, it doesn't really... Nothing really goes here. This threatens absolutely nothing. Even after this queen here blocks, you have no attack here. But he moves his queen away, asking for a trade here. So instead, yet again, is actually no. You have e5 to block it, but instead I played the second best move, but that's not good because he can just take that in between. We call that in between move, kinda, where he doesn't have to take there. Yeah, he can wait and take that like he did, because I can't go here now, and I'm pretty much forced to take. And this endgame is an endgame where pieces are even. Well, black has one more pawn on the right side, where all of white's pawns are on the left. So this is probably more than likely going to be a win for black. So I try playing d5, breaking open the center, trying to get some momentum, threaten to take the pawn. He blocks, push the pawn. He threatens to take that pawn, so I protect it. And then he attacks my knight. Now, here's a good move. En passant. So, if you've never heard of en passant, you can only do it when the opponent plays a pawn move that they from their starting square here, and it's 2 moves next to your own pawn. Your pawn's able to move forward to the left or right and take it. And so now, white has 2 passed pawns now. And it's looking like, if white's probably going to win. So that's what I did. Ends up trying to go for both. This loses, of course, to, well, actually not d7. So you may ask, what's the difference between b7 and d7? Well, d6. Now, if you have move here, boom. Knight protects both these squares. So if you go here, it just takes. If you go here, it takes with the rook. So, but what my opponent ended up doing was taking the pawn as a mistake, allowing me to queen. And my opponent ended up resigning after this, as it will be mate here in just about 20-ish moves, depending on how white and black plays. So this, of course, not the best game. A lot of mistakes in this game. Like, here we go. Like this one here. Sacking the rook here was not good at all, because of the queen takes, and you're down a pawn. Black has multiple passed pawns here on the right, and it's really hard as white to try and come back to win this kind of endgame here. But so that was probably the biggest mistake here. Black plays b5. He was up a pawn, playing b5, losing to en passant. Other ones you have d7 here, of course, a mistake, because as shown here, the knight just blocks everything. Even earlier in the game, you had like rook h3. Of course, sacking the rook was the best move. Not everyone's gonna see that, but it was the best move. You got d6 again, another bad move. What was supposed to have played was coming back, trying to win a pawn here. Lot of things here. Let's look even earlier at what black made a mistake here. Of course, we already explained here is gonna win tempo, because you're just going to, it's not very clear right now at this point in the game. Black, of course, again here missed it, played here, which would lose to d5. Takes, has to move the knight to, moves this knight here. He's going to more than likely win a rook here, but he's still under attack here. Can't move it. Well, I guess he can move it, but this is just a winning endgame for, well, this is going to be a winning game for white. About 2 points of material. They have controlling the center. I mean, white has everything going for them in this match here. So I hope that this helped you understand some mistakes that you may make in your matches, by showing you how mistakes in my matches are created. I would suggest making sure every move you play, like, spend time on each move if need be. In the opening, you can play fast if you want to. If you know what moves you're gonna make that are good, you can. But I suggest in the middle and end games, take the time you need to think out what moves you're planning to make and see what the repercussions may be of them. So, hope this helped.